We recently completed the inaugural cruise on the Star Princess, and we ate at every specialty restaurant on the ship. And this video will give you the scoop on each of these specialty restaurants. Stick around to the end of this video and we'll discuss costs and if these restaurants are worth it. And we'll show you menus along the way.
Hi y'all, I'm Jeff.
And I'm Becky.
And together we're cruising good time.
Let's get started with those reviews.
So the first review we're going to talk about is Sabatini. Sabatini's is a Princess Italian restaurant. It's on just about every one of the ships, and we really consider it the cornerstone within the Princess fleet of specialty dining.
Yeah, it's one of their oldest specialty dining restaurants. Princess has really prided themselves with having a wonderful Italian dining through the years. It's upscale yet really friendly Italian dining.
Yeah, it's a lot to eat there. We really like all the food. They make all the pasta right there is made from scratch. Everything's made up from scratch right there. A lot of food. If you leave there hungry, it's your own fault because they're going to bring you a lot of food while you do this. But everything we've had throughout the years is great, and the Star Princess was no exception. The Star Princess had great food for us when we were there.
I thought it was fantastic service, the ambiance. So I think for all the specialty restaurants on the Star Princess that I like Sabatini's ambiance the best.
I agree with you 100%. It's like looking out over the Tuscan countryside right there. It's just really a nice ambiance and really good look for that restaurant.
You know, from everything I think about with fine dining to having interesting selections, delicious food, fabulous service, terrific ambiance, a pretty good wine selection, I think Sabatini's just delivers the whole package. Next, we're going to talk about another cornerstone restaurant in Princess ships, which is the Crown Grill. Now, all their ships pretty much have one steakhouse on them, and as time has gone on, more and more have been named and fashioned into the Crown Grill. It's a pretty classic, traditional steakhouse.
Yeah, and they make a good steak there. We ate there on the Star Princess, and it was good. It wasn't as good as Sabatini's in our opinion, but it was all right. And it had the classic Crown Grill feel with a lot of good service right there. The service is very good for us, good wine selection, and a pretty typical Crown Grill menu.
Yeah, and for me, I think you have to discount my opinion on this because as far as steakhouses go, Jeff makes such an excellent steak that I usually prefer to eat home with him instead of any steakhouse, no matter the price. So I think you have to discount a little bit on what we believe on the steaks for Crown Grill.
Thank you, Becky. I appreciate that. The Crown Grill is one of the favorites for a lot of people within Princess, obviously, because they have one on just about every ship. My sister loves the Crown Grill. She often will dine there a couple times on a typical 7-day cruise because she really enjoys the Crown Grill. So the next restaurant we're going to talk about is The Catch by Rudy. Rudy Soderman is the head of culinary arts within the Princess fleet, and he is just a lot of fun to talk to. We ran into him, the Star Princess, and he is just a bundle of energy. He's going 100 miles an hour all the time. The seafood restaurant he had was just really clever and very well presented. All the dishes were very creative, I thought.
They're creative, they're interesting plated, the service is phenomenal. It's really fun dining. And at Rudy's, sometimes there's a little bit of tongue-in-cheek, some playfulness in the food. It's just delightful.
Yeah, it's really creative. The crab bisque was served in a bowl that kind of looked like a crab. But what I found interesting about Rudy's on board the Star was the seafood house had the best steak on board the Star, in my opinion. They share the same galley as the Crown Grill next door to it, but I think Rudy's had the steak beat on the Crown Grill all over the place. It's really good steak.
We ate at Rudy's more than once, and I really enjoyed the seafood dishes I had. And I have to say, the desserts were fabulous. I tried them. I think everybody's at the table. And I think that Rudy's desserts are some of the best desserts at any restaurant on any ship. So the next restaurant is kind of interesting because it's really like one giant room that has two restaurants in it. So it's both has the Umai Teppanyaki grill and then the hot pot. These are both interesting experiences. So the Teppanyaki grill is like any other restaurant that you've eaten, like Benihana's, etc. It's a lot of fun. It's a good time. It's kind of a show within dinner. It's no exception here.
Yeah, it was just a lot of fun. It's you got everybody sitting around the table. The chef is really great with entertaining. A lot of jokes and hand motion there with the knives and all the spatulas and all that is a lot of fun to watch. We really had a really good time on that. There's no open flames allowed on a cruise ship, so don't look for the onion volcano or anything like that on board because you can't have an open flame. But it was a great time, regardless. The food we thought was really good, kind of classic Benihana type food.
Yeah, so this is one of the things. It's just a great time to have fun having dinner with strangers.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We had a good time there. The hot pot was also very social.
So the traditional Japanese meal of hot pot. So for this, they'll have like 3 different broths. You get to select 2, and they'll have 2 that are like heated up right there in the center of your table. And then they'll have like very thinly sliced different meats, or seafoods, or different vegetables, or all of the above. And they can cook these in the hot pot, and you can put them onto your plate, and you can get noodles with it or rice. Really just quite a delicious meal.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it because it's, like I said, it's very social with how it's all boiling right there in the middle of the table, and you just kind of get it out and chow down on it right there. Whatever you want, the chicken or the beef, pork, seafood, vegetables, everything in there. And I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I thought that this was the most fun. Like if you're there with another couple, I thought this was the most fun for dining together. And I also thought it was probably the healthiest meal I had while on board the ship. So the next restaurant we're going to talk about is the Mikado Ocean. So on this ship, it's interesting that the sushi is considered one of the specialty dining restaurants. And this sushi is from Chef Mikado Ukawa.
So this specialty restaurant is located right off the piazza, right there in that sphere area of the ship. So you get a good view of the piazza or something else going on right there. And it's got a great view of that big sphere window looking right out over the ocean right there. So I enjoyed kind of the ocean view you get from the restaurant as you're eating. And it's also unique because it had lunch and dinner. It's the only specialty restaurant open for both.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting, though, because they shut down most days fairly early at lunch,
Yeah.
which was disappointing for me.
Yeah, it was like 1 o'clock or something. We showed up there like 1:05. No, we're already closed. But anyway, we get there another time.
The menu there, it seemed not as big a selection as what you normally have at most of the sushi restaurants in the States.
I didn't think it was that much of an increase on the selection on the menu you would get with compared to some of the casual dining sushi restaurants throughout the rest of the fleet.
Out of the specialty restaurants aboard the Star Princess, this wasn't our in our top choices. Next, we're going to talk about the Butcher's Block by Dario, which is kind of supposed to be similar to some of their Dario's restaurants in Italy. So this is truly kind of interesting because they're going to serve a lot of different meat. We arrived early and was told to wait because they wanted to seat everybody at once. So we waited outside the doors. Then when they started letting us in, they would give you a glass of wine and a piece of bread. And the restaurant filled up in the front, and we're standing around and we're standing around. And it's been like 30 minutes.
Yep.
And we don't really have other people coming in, but they haven't started any sort of presentation. Then they gave a short presentation, on some of the salts, etc., that they're going to offer. And they didn't talk about the meal at all. And I think for me, it would have helped me if they explained more about, what to expect, etc. Then they really were rushing everybody to seat everybody family style. Then they had items on the table, and no one discussed that, like, there's a bottle of wine there that's already included in your fare or not. So I was a little uncomfortable there. But about 10 minutes after we're seated, someone came by to explain that, the wine was free and to help ourselves with some other things that were at the table. But
Yeah.
the bottom line, I was starving.
Well, that's true because you're going to this big steakhouse. You did need a big lunch because you're going to eat big, and then all the delays. I don't know if these are delays from startup or if that's normally how it is. That you just got to sit around and get angry waiting on more food to show up. Once the food did start coming, it was very good steak, and it was the presentation in the middle where the chef was talking about it, cutting it all up was pretty entertaining as well. Um, to Becky's point, I wish they kind of told what we're going to be doing in there because, like a lot of places, you kind of get the vegetables and the cheap cuts of meat up front, and by the time you get to the good cuts of meat at the end, you're already pretty stuffed. So it's a little disappointing there. Would have saved some more room for the fillet and the tenderloins and whatnot there at the end.
Perhaps we should give them some grace. This is one of their very first few times that they'd ever had guests in the restaurant. So we probably should be a little more forgiving. And perhaps if I'd researched the restaurant a little more, I wouldn't have been so surprised. I have to say, the steak tartare at the Butcher's Block is the best steak tartare anywhere I could find on the Star Princess.
What really surprised me, believe it or not, was the olive oil cake. I was not really expecting it to be that delicious, and it really hit the spot after all the meat and coming down there and having that. I enjoyed that olive oil cake. I got to admit, normally I'm a chocolate guy, but that cake was very good. The next restaurant we're going to talk about is Love by Brito, and this is a collaboration between Romano Brito. He's a pop artist that draws a lot of hearts all the time, very bold and loud colors, and Chef Rudy again, obviously, is involved with that as the head of culinary arts within Princess. And this restaurant is up high on deck 15, overlooks the wake of the ship as you're going by. Small, intimate, and every table has a great view of the wake. I went in it as a guy thinking, oh, Love by Brito, it's going to be kind of corny with all the hearts and all that everywhere. But it wasn't. I really enjoyed the restaurant and the concept of the restaurant. The service, I thought, was impeccable.
The service was amazing. And the food here, I thought this was perhaps the most innovative of the menus aboard the ship. And it was so very, very incredible. For instance, on one of the appetizer courses, Jeff, you had that what?
It was a cappuccino of wild mushrooms, and it was great. It was a great wild mushroom soup with a little froth on it. It's delicious.
And I had the fish and tuna. I don't know which one of these was better. They were both just amazing, so incredibly delicious. And yours was really interesting. I loved that.
It was very, very creative, very, very innovative, and delicious. One thing I liked about the restaurant is every plate, and there's about 5 courses in this whole meal, has some sort of heart on it, or more than one heart on it in some cases. And that was really creative, very clever, I thought, in how they worked all that in. Like the bread was shaped like a heart.
I thought it was interesting that the spoon had a heart on it.
It was a little difficult to eat soup with the spoon with a heart hole in it, but we got the job done. So.
Yeah, and I just can't, but I'm coming back to the food. It was so good. I had such a delicious sea bass. And then your entree was amazing.
I had a mixture of some Wagyu beef and some prime beef on there, and it was delicious. It was very good meat. I thought it was the best steak on the ship until I was at Rudy's and found a better steak. But either way about it, it was really good food all the way down. And the dessert was good, chocolatey, very rich, and with a heart in it. And it was very good. I really enjoyed that restaurant.
I thought this was the most intimate and romantic restaurant, and it wasn't just because of all the hearts. I thought it was the fabulous of the food, the intimacy of the setting, just the overall decor, just amazing time. So as promised, at the end of this video, we're going to talk about the costs and if it's worth it. So specialty dining aboard most Princess ships is $55 per person per meal. And aboard the Sphere class ships, the Sun and the Star Princesses, it's $60 per person per meal, and of course, plus gratuity for all of the above. Now, I do believe that the food and the service are better on the specialty restaurants on the Star than they are in the main dining room.
I agree with you, and I really enjoyed the main dining room, but I think all those specialty dining, all 8 that we dined in, The food was just a little bit notch above what you get in the main dining room, and probably the quality of service too. So there is that compelling event to probably go to those specialty dining restaurants. I tend to like the main dining room. Normally, I wouldn't do a whole lot of specialty dining.
And for me, this is such a personal decision, but I don't like to part with my money. So I am content to eat in the main dining room. If it's going to cost me $60 plus tip to do these other restaurants for the most part. However, that Princess Premier package, now it breaks things up a lot different money wise, and it's too complex to go into here. In fact, we have a whole video that goes into all the nuts and bolts.
Yeah, we'll have a card right here above it, and we talk about where we talk about Princess Plus and Princess Premier with the latest changes. Is it worth it? And for the Sphere class ships, yes, it really does pay out very quickly because you have unlimited specialty dining. You have a higher end type of wine that kind of dovetails with the specialty dining concept. You get better wines by the glass. It makes a lot of sense on those Sphere class ships to go with Princess Premier because you can try all the specialty dining to whatever heart you content, right?
Yeah, and they do have the 8 different restaurants to choose from. We had a hard time, even though we're on a 11-day cruise, we had a hard time hitting everything that we wanted to go to.
Yeah, there was no shortage of places to go eat on board the Star Princess, that's for sure. So, Becky, are there any of the restaurants that you'd pay the extra money for?
And this kind of depends on my feelings at any given time. However, like if I have an anniversary, I would definitely go to Love by Brito. However, I actually just might do that any cruise. I thought that was phenomenal.
Yep.
If there is a Catch by Rudy's, I am definitely going to go to it.
I really enjoyed both of those restaurants, and I fully agree with you on that. And Catch by Rudy's is delicious on board the Princess ship. And by the way, we've tried it on the Pinnacle class ships with Holland America. Delicious there as well. So Rudy's very consistent across both fleets. At the end of the day, I am probably more of a Sabatini's type of guy. I just love Sabatini's. We've been on every Princess ship we've been on across the fleet. We've tried it, and I really enjoy it every time. It's very consistent, very tasty, and just a lot of fun.
And I will always be happy to accompany you for a meal at Sabatini's.
Please check out our YouTube channel because we have a ton of information out there, and we have a whole lot of playlists on different type of destinations, and we have some playlists just on whether or not different types of drink packages like Princess Plus and Princess Premier.
We hope you've enjoyed this video and found it useful.
If you liked the video, please give us a like and subscribe. Turn on those notifications. It really helps us out.
Until next time, have a cruising good time.